Hey there, it's Shroomy, and if you've been playing Animal Crossing for the past several years, you may have noticed something very interesting about New Horizons. And that is that most of its NPCs have been laid off for it. Like, more than any before. In the past, like, maybe 4 wouldn't show up in the next game. Well, unless you count Wild World, which decided to lay off all of its holiday characters. But besides that, in general, most of the characters from previous Animal Crossing games make its way to the next Animal Crossing game. Anyway, there have been a lot of layoffs, and it is very noticeable. Luckily though, we have seen lots of NPCs make their way back through updates such as Pascal and Red, so there's hope for the future. We know at some point or another, most of these NPCs will be making a comeback. So today, I would like to talk about what I want those comebacks to be. And to kick us off, we will start with the idea that sparked this video. This is the idea that I think is most likely to happen. The rest of them, they're wishful thinking, they're like fun ideas, don't think they're gonna happen. This one, high possibility it's gonna happen. All the other ones, just for the fun of imagining, but this first one is actual speculation. Anyway, the NPC we will be employing first is Wendell. In previous games, Wendell was a starving traveling artist, and if you gave him food, he would give you, in the original game, wallpaper, and from that point on, he would give you patterns in exchange, just random patterns that he designed that you could lay out in your town. Going into New Leaf, though, his hunger problem was solved, as he was now only found in the dream world. In the dream world, you could go to him and he would let you download patterns that creator had made and chosen to be shared. And as you know, recently dreams came back, but Wendell did not. He was replaced with a kiosk to many people's dismay. However, I'm holding out hope that this means they're gonna bring him back in an even better role. Because I will say, for the most part, over the years, I have ignored Wendell. Like, I just didn't have an interest in their patterns, so, Looking back, now I'm really ashamed that I had ignored him over all these years. I was recently time traveling in Wild World collecting footage, and I needed footage of him, and he was so funny. I loved his starving personality. He's a good character. Well done. I fell in love with him, and unfortunately that personality isn't really seen when he's not starving in New Leaf. So when they bring him back, I need him to be starving Wendell again. But of course, with amazing patterns being available via the wonderful World Wide Web, we really don't have a need for Wendell giving out patterns. So, as a reward for satiating his appetite, I think they should have him give you food recipes. This would make total sense for him. He's a traveling artist that's been everywhere. You can even see it in his New Leaf RV. He has tacos, rice balls, and pasta, all from very different parts of the world. So I think that'd be great. You give him a fruit or a fish or something, and then he goes, oh, I recently had a dish that used this ingredient. Let me give you the recipe so you can make it yourself. Bada bing, bada boom. I think this idea would finally give Wendell the justice he deserves, and I know if he was handing out recipes, I would be so excited to see him every time he visited. Okay, now for Reese and Cyrus. These two debuted in New Leaf. They were a husband and wife team, which is super cute. Reese sold used furniture. You could give it to her. She would sell it to other people or villagers. And Cyrus, you would go to refurbish your furniture, so to change the color. And this was new to New Leaf. Before that, you got your furniture, you could never change outlook. Of course, we have seen these guys in New Horizons. They are part of the June wedding event, which is fantastic and all. But their services are still needed. We can't have them honeymooning 24/7, reminiscing about the time they got married. We need them back in game doing some real work for us. Like, sure, we can customize items, but there are still hundreds of items that have different color variations that the only way to get them is to buy furniture from Red, pop balloons, or get it from a friend who has different color variations on their island. We need them back so we can truly have access to all the different colors of furniture. I think they could have some sort of stand that they set up in the plaza when they're visiting, and you could give like 10 items to Cyrus to customize, you know, choose the colors and everything, then the next day he'll send those 10 items to you, and once you open them up, get them in your pockets, those will be in your catalog from now on, and you can order them as many times as you want. That way, slowly as he visits, you can refurbish all the furniture in the colors you desire. As for Reese, you can give her your old pieces of furniture, set a price you want to sell it at, and she will take it to all your other friends' islands and offer it up to them to sell. And it's really interesting that New Horizons hasn't had a resell feature yet. In past games, I didn't think it was necessary, but they all had one. Like GameCube had your gyroid out front. Wild World did not have one. City Folk had the auction house in the city, and New Leaf had, of course, retail. So, in those games, I was like, why resell items? Most of them are pretty cheap. I guess event items you might resell. Like, I don't know, why not just agree with your friend and trade? But in New Horizons, I think it makes a lot of sense to resell furniture since you have so many pieces that are worth well over 100,000 bells, which if you resold those to the Nooks, you would lose out on like tens of thousands of bells. So, you know, just pop it in with Reese and she can take it to your friends and they can buy it and hopefully help you get back some of the money you spent. And I don't know about you guys, but me and my friends are playing Animal Crossing a lot less now that it's been out for quite a while. So we are visiting each other a lot less, and if they do a resale feature in the future and it's just centered on your town like all the others have been in the past, it's not likely your friends are going to come over and buy those items. By having them move around, it's way more likely that you'll be able to resell that item. So I think this idea works really well. I know these roles are pretty similar to what they did before, but their roles are still very needed and I want them brought back. On to Pelly, Phyllis, and Pete. For the past 4 games, these 3 have been handling the mail, with Phyllis and Pelly covering the intake of mail, and Pete being the one to deliver it to you. Who's doing it now? I don't know, I guess the Dodos maybe? Anyway, as you know, their 3-man operation has been replaced with a single card stand, which I am totally fine with. There's no longer the hassle of buying paper from Nook and cluttering up your pockets with it or having to delete letters and you want to mail a letter. All of it's just been very streamlined nicely, so kind of glad they're gone. But card stand, more efficient. The process is just way more streamlined, making it way more convenient to send a letter. Plus, I wouldn't want a building on my island just for mail, since I'm really not mailing letters as much anymore. And on top of that, these 3 characters are kind of milquetoast compared to a lot of the other NPCs. Like Blathers has this thing of hating bugs. Like, a lot of them have quirks, and these guys are just kind of eh. Well, except for Phyllis. But for the most part, I avoid her because I don't need those bad vibes in my life. No one else does. Maybe it's my fault that I'm just dealing with the milquetoast ones all the time. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about them being replaced. I just find it kind of funny that people all the time will complain about all these characters being replaced by inanimate objects, but then they're like, ugh, I'm tired of talking to Orville. Can't we just do it all from our phones? So it's like clearly there's a balance there where you want characters for certain things, and clearly there's a time when it's like, can we please just streamline it and like get me through it? Let me know what you think. Maybe I'll make a video on this topic one day of when to replace a character and when you should not replace a character, but before I do, I want to hear what everyone's thought is and kind of try to understand every side of it. Anyway, sorry, I got totally derailed there. Let's go ahead and talk about what I would have these 3 do. So you know how they had people come back for May Day, Rover did, and then for wedding season they had Reese and Cyrus come back? I think these 3 would be perfect to bring back for Valentine's Day. In previous games, there was a love triangle between the 3, with Pelly loving Pete and Pete loving Phyllis, and Phyllis not returning that love to him. I think the holiday should really play off this love triangle with you delivering letters between the 3. Like maybe you would read the letters and get in on the gossip. Maybe you would hear the reaction that they got when they got the letter from them, or something like that. Oh. I just want the juice, okay? Anyway, over the week or 2 leading up to Valentine's Day, as you delivered more and more, you'd get more of the gossip, and then like they could also throw in Valentine's Day items for you delivering them. Like that could be cool too. Or you could even be delivering letters of friendship between the villagers and they would give you rewards for delivering items. I don't know. Something with mail, but mostly I want the gossip, and I guess you can get items for fun. I mostly just want the drama, to be honest. Like in New Leaf, they toned it down a lot. Like it was still there, but it was more like you heard other people talking about it, like whispers here and there, and like you could talk to Pete and Phyllis and Pelly and like get little tidbits here and there when they were at the coffee house, but like for the most part, it wasn't like in your face. But in Wild World, it was laid out on the floor, every juicy detail. Like with some of the bigger reveals, like I was literally sitting there like, oh no, I know. Like, oh, sorry, I'm going crazy here, but like, oh, it was so juicy. Anyway, if February comes and Nintendo does not do this gossip event like I would like, then I will be making a video with all the juicy details of their love triangle, so subscribe for that. I'm very excited, but hopefully I don't have to. Hopefully they bring back all the drama in this juicy event, and you know, the items could be there as a nice little bonus, but mostly the drama. Okay, sorry you had to see that side of me, but yeah. We're gonna be moving on to a far less scandalous character, Joan. For all the Animal Crossing games, she has just been delivering turnip like her granddaughter Daisy Mae does now. The only time they ever really spiced things up with her were in Wild World and City Folk. They also had her sell red turnip seeds, which you like grew yourself. And she only sold one a week, but like it was a guaranteed gain in profit for those. That being said, since she has only ever sold turnips, I'm not thrilled with the idea I have for her, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. So I was thinking she could be the one to sell you vegetable seeds, which will hopefully be coming to games soon, along with foreign fruit, since without friends you can't get all 5, and I think they'll be necessary in cooking when they add that feature, hopefully. Honestly though, I think these duties would and should go to Leaf, since Joan has always been in the turnip business and nothing else. But I guess technically she is a master farmer, and in Pocket Camp they had Daisy Mae do an event that was associated with vegetables, so I don't know. Maybe you can teach a dog new tricks? Maybe they'll just give the job to Leaf. And on to our last duo, Lyle and Lottie. These two are uncle and niece, with Lyle being introduced in Wild World and Lottie in Happy Home Designer. So far, they have for the most part been associated with the HHA. Now, I don't think the HHA necessarily needs a face. Like, I am totally fine with a faceless entity invading my house every week just so they can judge me. So there's no need for them to be representatives for the HHA anymore, but I do want them to continue to be in the home business. So here is what I was thinking. I want them to have their own little building that you go to, maybe on another island like Harv's, and there you can totally design a room like you do at Harvey's, but when you're done designing it, you can order that entire room. So when you order it, there'll be about a 50,000 bell labor charge. Along with that, they'll charge you for any of the furniture you want in the house but you don't currently have in your storage. And they'll also require that you provide any of the DIY materials for any DIY items you put in the design. And they're also required that you have the recipes and things. And then once all that's done, you've paid for it, the next day when you wake up, they'll have replaced one of your rooms with that room you just designed. And I know this all sounds like really convoluted, like, okay, why not just design the room? Like, get the items, put them in your storage, just design the room in your own house. But I am so tired of trying to design a room and realizing, oh, I want to add this item, oh, I want to add that item, and then I have to order it, and then I have to wait another day. And then as I'm making even more, I realize there's more items I want, and you'll only have 5 items a day, which is just so limiting. And designing at Harvey's is just so nice. Like, every item you've ever had in your catalog is all there for you. Of course, there will be some problems because some items you can't order, but I don't know. If they could get you some of the way there, it'd be so nice. I don't know, this idea isn't perfect, but I really just want to be able to design like I did in Happy Home Designer, where you have everything available to you right there and then, every item you've ever obtained. It's just so nice. And I think they would be a good fit for this, since Lottie has had experience with designing rooms, having all the furniture available to design it as you design it. And Lyle, when he was in City Folk, he would somehow set up other people's rooms in the display room. So he is apparently capable of setting up an entire room overnight based on what other people have. Another cool service they could offer is storing your old room designs. Like, let's say a holiday is coming and you would like to redecorate your room with the holiday items, but there's always that like hassle of like, oh, but if I redecorate, I'll have to re-put it all away and then set up the old thing again, so maybe I just won't. Even though in New Horizons they make it easier than ever to decorate your house, it's still a hassle and you kind of avoid it. But if they save room layouts, you can be like, okay, save this layout for me, then I'm gonna decorate for Christmas, then you can store my Christmas layout and I'll bring back my normal layout. Right? Wouldn't that be nice? It's like storing outfits for wands, but with house layouts. Pretty sick. I've honestly never cared for Lyle in any of the games he was in, but if he offered me this services, we would be the bestest of friends. And I would still love Lottie. Lottie's a cutie. Who doesn't love Lottie? She was like the Isabel of Happy Home Designer. before Isabel came to New Horizons and ruined herself for the people. So there you have it, the ramblings of an Animal Crossing zealot. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what your favorite idea is, or if you have any ideas of your own. Like, I just love talking about Animal Crossing. Talk Animal Crossing with me, okay? And maybe even subscribe for future Animal Crossing videos. There's a good chance I'm gonna do a part 2 to this. I'll be thinking even more about placing NPCs, because heaven knows there's still a lot missing. Oh, and if you enjoyed this video, you should totally go check out Protendo. He did 2 videos just like this, finding jobs for missing NPCs. And I'll say, a lot of the ideas are really good, and he did it for, I think, every NPC that's missing. And none of our ideas have any overlap at all. Or you can go ahead and watch more of my videos, because, you know, I think they're pretty good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have the loveliest of lovely days. Bye!
Hey y'all, I'm back. I just wanted to say a quick thank you. While I was editing this video, the channel hit 200 subscribers, which is crazy. Thank you. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for liking things and commenting, and just like, YouTube is circulating some of my videos now, which is great. And thank you for subscribing and supporting and everything you do. Okay, thanks, bye.